Hi, I'm Phil Bridges, owner of Straight Arrow Repair. Ever want to know how a repairman fixes things? Well, come with me and I'll show you how I solve problems. Let's make things better together. Hey, it's good to see you. We're fixing to look into a report that the floors are damaged because of two toilet lines at the same time, supply lines breaking. What I told her was that sounds like the water pressure went way up and they don't have a pressure regulator that's working anymore. This house has been here since the 70s as a vacation home, and they live 4 or 5 hours away, I think, Wichita, Kansas, long ways. And so we're going to see what kind of damage we can see there is, what we have to do to get it for livable again. She said she came in and fell through, so yeah, there's evidence that somebody fell through. So all this area is already deteriorated. Yeah, all this is bad, swelled up already. Just trying to go through. But we really won't be able to know how much damage unless we can go underneath, because this is all covered up so well. And the water probably went over the top of this. Maybe. But it wasn't just this end, it was the other end too. So, I'm soft right there. I need to go underneath this house. Well, really soft right here. And then evidently they got marks over there where they went to.
So why is there no marks in here?
Because we replaced the floor in here.
But not in there, right?
No, we didn't replace the plywood in there. So all this floor has to come out.
And this is why you don't get that type of floor?
If you notice what we have right here is a different type of plywood, and it survived better. But if you look over there, it soaked up the wall. The reason we replaced this floor is because it was so weak that when they got on the bed, the bed legs went through the floor. So we just replaced the floor. It wasn't because of any water damage. As you can see how it went across the floor, got over on this floor, and then wicked up here. Now all this is bowed up, all the way up. So that'll give you an idea how that particle board will wick up a long ways. There's probably a lot of water in here. You can see water stains against the paneling, like right here, and over there. So What's that? Just a little closet?
Well, they pulled some tiles off the look at the floor, and it's the particle board on the floor.
We're gonna need to go underneath. Looks like the.
I don't think we particularly came with stuff to go underneath the house.
You can tell if the particle board's like this area here is pretty weak.
I think just by walking on it, you can tell.
Yeah, this is weak right here too. Old as this house is, I bet there's no no insulation, no nothing. So let's see if we can figure out how to get underneath this house.
Here. There you go.
We're going to have light.
About to die.
Well, so we'll have to. Water's been all the way to there. That's the bathroom, I think. No, it's past the bathroom.
The living room.
Looking at the stains on the blackboard and how swelled up it is.
They put a cinder block wall halfway through it. There's a cinder block wall right there, right behind you.
It's a single wide. They put it block for skirting.
Wait,
Looks
why
like
does a double wide feel like triple the size of this?
It is triple the size. This is a little 12
But
wide.
it's called double wide.
There's two 16-footers. Or
Right.
two 14.
Right, but a single wide feels like it should be, a double wide should only be double.
Well, two of these single wides would be 24 feet. Two of those 15 foot per side is 30 foot. So this is actually 6 foot longer.
So you actually get more.
That's
for a
6
double
foot
wide.
wider, yeah. Huh?
So you get more for a double wide.
Yeah. Quite a bit. So I'm not going to be able to tear down.
Underlayment.
Yeah. All of this floor has been wet. Need to get me a light. But we'll get a headlamp or two. I guess we'll get back with you guys. Well, we've done all the measuring, and I'll sit down and figure out square footages and what labor to go get the materials, put the materials in. This is a long ways from any sizable. It's like an hour and a half from any sizable Lowe's or Home Depot or Meeks or things like that. There's smaller ones like in Eureka and outside. It's a long ways to anything. There's nothing in this direct area. So we measured all of the floors, how much we got to replace, and then how much floor covering. Sometimes the floor covering, if you get halfway into the room, you're not gonna be able to match that floor covering anymore. So you're gonna replace all the floor covering in the whole room, not maybe all of the floor, but all the floor covering. One of the things you forget about is the underpinning gets damages, so you'll have to fix whatever underpinning. You'll have to figure that out. All that requires thinking about and then doing the constant changes of material costs and shortages and things like that are part of what somebody like me does. And it's sometimes a gamble. That's why on your taxes it says everything's at risk. So we'll sit down and go through all this when I get home. Hopefully I don't pass out as I'm sitting on the couch. And then I'll send her the estimate so she can turn it into her insurance. And then we go from there. See you guys. It's Phil Bridges. If you like what you saw, you think it might be helpful to somebody else, push that like button and let other people know what you and I now know. And we'll work together toward making a brighter future. And by the way, we're not Americans, we're Americans. See you next time.